Alright, so I'm giving my brief input on UFC 317. I just recently found out that Charles is about to fight Topuria, and these are both fighters that I like. I really don't like seeing them fight, but it's whatever. Going with Topuria first. I called it Hype Train Topuria because of the fact that everyone just sees that he has power and just immediately shuts their brain off and just says, oh yeah, he's gonna win. All skill gets thrown out the window. He's gonna win. No questions asked. But when you're at a higher level, I feel like you could take more things into account. You can't just say someone has power and then that's the reason why they're going to win. So first, Topuria's pros, his style flourishes when he's pressing forward. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. I mean, it's just he's doing his best when he's going forward. He's going to go forward, slip whatever you throw at him, punches wise, and then just take your head off. He's just gonna try to take your head off. Supposedly has good grappling, proof in the Bryce Mitchell fight. I just don't trust when I don't see a fighter actually grapple in fights. I always just hear about, oh yeah, good grappler or whatever. Like for example, if a fighter just has hella accolades prior to MMA, and then you actually see them fight MMA, and they aren't really worth the hype. You know, they're not all at. Sometimes it just doesn't show in their fighting. For Topuria though, we actually saw him grapple, so I can give him that. But that was one fight. I would actually, respect the grappling from him if I saw that in, majority of his fights, he's actually actively trying to like shoot for a takedown, trying to submit people. I haven't seen him grapple at a high level in the UFC, and like constantly. Not just talking about the Bryce Mitchell fight, but constantly do it. Hits like a truck. If you know who Ilia Topuria is, then I don't really have to explain that. He's known for that. Really good boxing. He beat someone that was considered to be the best boxer in the UFC. So what does that really say about Topuria? He's up there. He's definitely probably top three. I'm actually going to bring that up later on because that might be one of Charles's banes. I can't lie. Like his kryptonite. Right. So now cons. At 155, I think his cardio will get worse. I'm pretty sure it's just a rule of thumb that if you go up in weight, your cardio is just gonna get worse. Not saying it's gonna be horrible, like a crazy like difference, but it's gonna be worse than if you were a little bit lower. I've never heard of someone going up in weight and then their cardio gets better. That's just not really how it works. Another one of his cons, kicks. He has a really bladed stance. His legs are really wide. Always like bending down, crouching. I see him check body kicks when people try it on him. I see it. Okay, cool. But when people throw low kicks and stuff, maybe like, a few times, but I usually see them land. And he just has a good poker face and just doesn't phase him. But against someone like Charles, I think you can't just ignore it. Right? Isn't as good going backwards. I already explained it. Has been dropped. I mention this because when a prospect's coming up, for example, and you don't see them in deep waters, you just glaze them entirely, just like, oh my god, like he's unstoppable. I haven't seen him in danger of being submitted or anything. Oh, he's invincible, but that's just not really how it works. We've seen Jai Herbert head kick Topuria at 155 and knock him down. Not fully knocked out, but knocked him down. There is like a window of opportunity for Charles, who will definitely throw a head kick at some point to catch Topuria slipping. Waiting to be countered. This one is so obvious. The fact that in every shot that Topuria throws, he's trying to knock you out, but he turns his body so much. I've seen him like spin around because he threw a shot so hard. Like he put his all into the shot. And it's good to knock them out, but when you do that, you can get countered. People aren't as confident, and they know that he hits really hard, so they don't even want to be at risk of getting punched by him at all, so they're just not even going to try to counter him. Ilia Topuria he's only human. I don't even know him for having a crazy chin, but whatever. Short. He's like 5'6". Charles, I'm pretty sure, is 5'10 or 5'11", and he's moving up a weight class. I'm pretty sure Topuria has like a 69-inch reach, and Oliveira has a 74.
I think that he's a champion through and through. But when I see him, right, he's not a big guy. I don't feel like he's a big guy. So to hear he says he can't make 145 anymore, to me seems a bit odd because I see Makhachev. I saw Khabib as the champ. Hell, I see Chandler. And dude, Oliveira's massive. These guys are bigger, much bigger than Ilia Topuria. Do you buy that
Like,
he just
it's just, oh, it's only natural. And Charles has some nice teeps. His whole game plan is just going to be to keep him away. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing good at that. So that's it for pros and cons for Topuria. Now, finally, Charles. I'm happy about. So maybe I am a little biased, but whatever, right? I think it's because he's the underdog. That's why I'm a little happy. Charles actually proved that he has really good grappling and really good submissions. He's been in the UFC for a long time. He's a submission artist. Like, he's dangerous on the ground. So I can actually talk about him and be like, oh yeah, like, be careful with him because I wouldn't want to be on the ground with him. Topuria, you can judge off his like fights maybe outside the UFC, but why the quality of fighters isn't the same as in the UFC. So I can actually say that Charles would be dangerous on the ground. I'd say. I think he has a deep bag. But anyway, good teeps. I already mentioned that. Topuria stands really, his head low. So because of that, you can do what Chandler did to Tony Ferguson and just make him eat your foot. I mean, I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure people have tried it, really haven't succeeded, but it's something that you could throw and make him be weary of. Good kicks in general. Jai Herbert knocked him down with a head kick. I don't see why you wouldn't throw a head kick. Crisp striking. I low-key regret saying crisp striking for Charles because he throws some really, really wild shots, and that can really be his bane. But he has power. Maybe not as much as Topuria, but he has power. Gaethje, who's someone who takes hits and then sends them back at you, literally said like what his tongue was stinging or something like that. I don't know. He has moments where his striking is pretty crisp, but not entirely. But of course, if you're getting tired, then it's only natural that's gonna get worse and worse. Charles is a long fighter. I mentioned that too. 74-inch reach, 69-inch reach. There has been cases where someone with the shorter height can end up making up for it, which is Alexander Volkanovski, but he's a whole different case. I mean, his game, good timing, whatever. I don't really see that with Topuria. I can't see him. Cons. Cons, I can definitely talk about this for Charles. His head movement is horrible. I put that in caps because everyone knows. I rewatched his fight with Poirier and I screamed. I actually screamed because I'm like, bro, if Poirier can land on you like that and you're letting him get away with it, Topuria is not gonna let you get away with just tanking 2 hits. He's gonna knock your lights out. It's not even like debatable. He doesn't like use his footwork around that, move his head with it. He's just basically saying, I'm waiting for you to hit me. I'm like, what are you gonna throw at me? I'm waiting for it. You can't really do that against someone like Topuria. Out of just mixing up his game, Topuria goes to the body, which is, really good. But if he chose to just headhunt Charles, oh, oh my god. Wild striking. You know, it's a con, but it makes the fights exciting. But if you're just trying to win, it's a problem. It's just a problem. He'll just sometimes just throw some flying kicks. Like I'm pretty sure he did like a flying knee. You know, makes the fights exciting, but you gotta learn to suppress that sometimes. And then some of his punches, like he'll like wildly telegraph to you, like I'm about to throw this, and whatever. Glass chin, can't stress it enough. Pretty sure like the first minute of the Gaethje fight with him, he Gaethje threw like what an uppercut I think, and then Charles just crumbled, you know. But like he takes hits and he keeps going. Like compared to like his old self, like way 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 back then, I'm pretty sure he would just get hit and just like call it off like all right I'm good. But now he takes the hits, gets wobbled, but he keeps going, and that's really good. Boxing kryptonite. I'm getting flashes from the Poirier fight. I'm getting like literal flashes. That was insane to me. He answered back with his own stuff, but in volume wise, he wasn't throwing as much as Poirier, I don't think, from what I remember. And if you're not throwing as much, Topuria gonna see you're not throwing as much. He's gonna slip what you are throwing and answer back with something horrible. So, hey, hey, that's all I got. You know, in the long run, I feel like Oliveira could pull it off, regardless of the cons, all the cons that I said for him. I feel like he could still pull it off. That's it.